Okay, so you're thinking about getting some custom merch made.
Always a good idea.
And you stumbled across this company, Zenessex, based in Essex.
They do printing and design, t-shirts, hoodies, the works.
You sent their website over, which is always a smart move.
And at first glance, it's your standard printing company website.
But something tells me there's more to this Zenessex than meets the eye.
What do you think?
Am I right to be intrigued?
Well, let's just say they don't shout about 35 years experience on their homepage for nothing.
In the world of custom printing, that's practically an eternity.
And the fact they've worked across 3 continents?
That hints at a breadth of experience you don't always see. Okay, so they've been around the block a time or two.
But what does that actually mean for someone like you, looking to get some merch made? It means they've likely seen it all, from small-time orders to big, complex projects.
And speaking of which, did you notice they have no minimum orders?
That's huge for someone who might not need 1,000 t-shirts.
Right. No need to break the bank for a small run of awesome. But here's where things get really interesting. They used to go by a totally different name. Deep Space Time.
Like, were they designing spacesuits before they were printing t-shirts?
What's the story there?
The name change suggests a move towards broader appeal. But that past name hints at a capacity for some seriously unique work.
It makes you wonder what kind of creative energy they might bring to even a simple t-shirt project.
Okay, so maybe they're not designing for astronauts anymore, but their past clients list is where things get really wild. I'm talking Prince, Armani Exchange, even Bono from U2.
As this is not your average local print shop clientele.
And that's the fascinating thing about Zenessex.
They've got this local Essex company vibe, but they've worked with some of the biggest names in music and fashion. We're talking holographic stage curtains for Prince, for crying out loud.
That screams high-end design, not just here's your logo on a tee.
Exactly. They clearly know how to handle intricate designs, demanding clients, and those kinds of out-there projects.
That experience working with big names and unconventional materials.
It suggests a level of skill that could really benefit your merch, even if it's a more straightforward design.
So they can handle holographic stage curtains for rock royalty, but they're also down to earth enough to say, hey, need some t-shirts, we gotcha.
Love that. It speaks to a certain versatility, wouldn't you say? They're comfortable working on massive, complex projects, but they haven't forgotten the importance of delivering quality no matter the scale.
And for you, that could mean getting a surprisingly high level of creativity and attention to detail, even for a smaller project.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is where...
I want to circle back to something else that caught my eye on their website.
Yeah.
Something called Hemprotex.
Mm-hmm.
It's mentioned in their case studies, and it sounds like they were developing their own line of eco-friendly clothing at one point.
This Hemprotex thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It tells us that they're not just paying lip service to sustainability.
Right.
They were invested enough to explore it deeply, potentially even more so than other companies in the custom merch space.
So they're not just slapping an eco-friendly label on something. They were really digging into it.
Yeah. For someone like you who's thinking about getting merch made, what does that tell you about their potential capabilities?
It could. It could mean they have access to higher quality, eco-friendly materials than your average print shop.
Okay.
Maybe they have relationships with suppliers other companies don't, or maybe they have a deeper understanding of how to source and work with those materials.
That's huge, because even if you're just getting a simple design, knowing that your merch is made from top-notch, sustainable materials can make all the difference.
Right. It adds a whole other layer to the story your merch is telling.
Yeah.
It shows you're not just thinking about the design, but also about the impact your choices are having.
And who knows, maybe Zenessex could even guide you towards some interesting material options you wouldn't have thought of otherwise. They've clearly got the experience to back it up. All right, so we've got this company with a long history, big-name clients, a passion for sustainability.
Yeah.
It's almost like they've got a secret past life as a high-end design firm.
It's like they're hiding in plain sight. But here's the thing. They're not just resting on their laurels.
Right.
They're actively inviting people like you with your custom merch dreams to work with them.
And that brings us back to you, dear listener. You've got this website open, you're looking at their designs, and you're probably thinking, is this just another online shop or is it something more?
It is something more, right?
Yeah, because you could go to any number of places online and get a decent t-shirt printed.
Right.
But Zenessex, with their history, their experience, their apparent dedication to quality, it feels like they might offer something a little different.
It does. It makes you wonder,
Yeah.
like, are they going to be overpriced or are they going to be,
Yeah.
is this going to be really high quality?
Because that's the thing, right? It's like, how much do you value quality?
And are they going to try and like push you into something really fancy?
Will they even work with me if I don't want a holographic T-shirt? Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do they even want a client who just wants like a left chest logo and that's it?
Right.
But maybe they do, and maybe that's part of what they're trying to say. Like, hey, we can do the big stuff, but we can also handle your small project with just as much care.
Maybe.
That's what I'm hoping, anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes me think about the fact that they have that whole Hemprotex thing.
Oh, yeah.
That was their own thing, and they clearly had big ambitions for it. But it seems like they've scaled back on that.
Okay.
So maybe they are focusing more on
client work.
Yeah, like actually working with other people
Right.
and bringing their expertise to those projects.
Okay, so maybe there's hope for us yet.
I think so.
As people who just need some simple merch.
I think there's definitely enough there to suggest that they're not going to turn their noses up at a smaller project.
Okay, good.
Just because you're not Prince.
Exactly. Unless you are Prince, in which case, hey, Prince, what's up?
Give them a call.
Yeah. Get your holographic T-shirts. So I guess that about wraps it up for this deep dive.
I think so.
Into the wonderful world of Zenessex.
It's a fascinating company.
It really is. Like, they seem so unassuming at first glance but then you dig a little deeper and you're like, wait a minute, these guys have been around for ages and they've worked with some huge names.
Yeah, you don't just accidentally end up working with Prince.
Exactly. So yeah, listener, if you're looking for something a little different, maybe a little more expertise behind your merch, definitely check out Zenessex. It might just be the perfect fit for your next project.